Welcome back, everyone. Let's continue finishing typing out these different user sagas. So here for is authenticated, it's just an error casting, as we have to do. Here inside of signup, where do we actually call our signup saga? So if we scroll down, we notice that we call our signup saga on signup start. So this happens when we get that action, signup start. So here, let's scroll up and let's bring in the corresponding action type. So this one, as I mentioned, is going to be our sign up start, which we will bring in and set as the action that we receive for this parameter. Similarly here, we are also calling our create auth user with email and password, which is very similar to our sign in auth user with email and password. At the very least, what we know is that we are getting back a user credential. So we are going to replicate the code we have above, where we get some user credential, upon which we perform a check first to see, is it not undefined? Then we will destructure off the user from the user credential, upon which we finally actually yield out the next subsequent call. Now, signup success gives us an error call here. So here we see that user is authenticated by this credential, but user is not assignable to the parameter type of user data. Now, the reason we're throwing this error is because our signup success has defined user to be user data. So this most likely means that we actually mistyped our signup success definition. Here, we are defining user as user data, but this is most likely incorrect. We're actually expecting this to be of the type user that we get from a user credential. So the reason why is because when you sign up, you are authenticating. When you authenticate, it does not mean that you have an instance of the user inside of our Firestore. User data is the data that comes from the user snapshot, which is an instance inside of Firestore data. The user that comes from a user credential is just that auth information. Again, I know it's very confusing because of Firebase and its naming conventions, but here we know that what we need to bring this from is Firebase/auth. So with the user now, what we can do is properly fix our typing issue. So inside of signup success, we need to update it here. And we also need to update the action itself because the action definition most likely has it as also user data. So let's fix that. Let's save this, go back to our saga, and now we see that everything is fixed. We know that this is correct because we followed the string of our logic, but also because our sagas were working, which means that the saga code is correct. It's just that our typing was off. So moving on, we now need to also type this signup failed. We'll say this as error. Similarly, we also need to type our sign out failed as error, and then our sign in after sign up. This saga gets called specifically after signup success. So we need to get the action for signup success. So let's import that in. Here we were missing a comma, and let's bring in signup success. And now we'll just scroll back down to our sign in after sign up and cast the appropriate action, which should also fix our type error. So that's it. We've finished typing out our user saga. So again, this is probably the most complicated portion of our code, but with just a little bit of thinking about everything that we've already learned as far as typing goes, we were very easily able to type everything now and make it TypeScript compliant. So now that we've finished typing our user saga, what we want to do next is we also want to make sure to type our root saga. So our root saga here, we also want to convert this to a .ts file. And of course, instead of Redux Saga effects, we will bring in our typed Redux Saga /macro. And we need to switch this yield to a yield star. Save this. And there we go. We have now also typed out root saga. So now that we have all of our sagas typed, we can now begin actually typing out the remainder of our code. So one quick thing before you start typing out these components, there's a couple things we're going to have to adjust as we go. But first, let's just do a quick check and make sure that we have no type errors. We see that our code is still working. We see that our add to cart is working. So all of our sagas are properly typed. All of our code is valid. So now that that's done, let's move on to typing our rather complex React components that we've made inside of our Crown Clothing application. I'll see you in the next video.